All right, never mind.
You're here, that's all that matters.
That's right. You guys are intrepid. You braved a potential, it was clear coming in.
Yeah.
Might be questionable leaving, but hey, we could have a sleepover at Podcamp, right? Spare bedrooms at Julianne. She just volunteered. So let's see. What else do we want to say about Podcamp? Well, I want to let's have a shout out for veterans. If this is your second or more Podcamp, raise your hand. All right. So now this is going to be fun. Leave your hands up, veterans. Okay. So who here has been to 3 or more Podcamps? Keep your hands up. 4, 5. All right, so we have, oh, wow, okay, so I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. All right, so 6. Oh, Johnny's out.
Let's see who.
Well, any unconference counts. So, Johnny, so what camp aside from pod?
Bar.
Straight bar camp, okay. And rebar camp, of course.
Ari bar camp.
Ari bar, well, rebar camp's more fun to call it that. So, all right. So me and Steve are left. Well, okay. Leslie was 6. 10 or more. It is a competition. It's between me and Steve now. All right. What's your number, Steve? Well, Steve's gonna win.
Today is 18.
You're only beating me by 1. Today is my 17th.
Wow.
All right, so the reason why my fellow cohorts, Jax and Kelly, and one of the original founders, Tish Greer, brought it to Western Mass is that I had heard of unconferences, but not in social media at all. I heard about it via social media, but I heard of my friends in the credit union sphere. They held a bar camp bake. It's the same concept, but for financial, and their first one was in Seattle. I had the opportunity to go. I didn't. But I saw there was about 30 people there. I saw what they were posting online afterwards. And I was like, oh, I should have been there. This was that good. It was cutting edge. It was brand new stuff. Wonderful stuff to learn. So I'm like, okay, well, what is this unconference thing? And that's where I started searching the web for where is the next unconference going to be. And that's when I discovered Podcamp Boston 2 was coming up, and this is 07. So Podcamp Boston 2 is like, that was an amazing thing, and I'm like, well, why doesn't Western Mass have it? Because, we're as good as Boston, right? We deserve our own Podcamp.
As good? Not now.
Well,
Better?
that's
Better?
when I ran into Steve Garfield at Podcamp New Hampshire this year. He said, he came here last year, he said it was one of the best Podcamps he'd ever been to. And so while I'm on that subject, I will sort of introduce more about what Podcamp is, but I want to say some innovations that are happening at Podcamp Western Mass that are nowhere else. And so I'll start off with the t-shirts. So let me introduce Jax, who brought QR codes to the very first Podcamp.
So these are our t-shirts. You got them on the way in, and if you were here last year, you already know, but if not, this is a QR code, kind of like a barcode, which you can scan with your phone, put it on your friend.
Scan your phone.
Just go to your QR app, which you can download for free for iPhone, Droid, BlackBerry, etc. For it to open up here, don't make a liar out of me, and scan. And it will take you to podcamp.westernmass.biz, westernma.biz, which is our official Podcamp website, which was designed by Taryn Burrell this year. Thank you. And that leads me right into our sponsors who make it possible for all of us to be here. Obviously, our lead sponsor is Westfield State University. And our silver sponsor is Win Stanley Partners. It's an ad agency, marketing agency in Lenox, Massachusetts. And also my employers. So thank you. Greenfield Savings Bank is also a sponsor for us this year. And Chris Hamill Productions. Productions.
Chris Allen Productions provided the sound for the party last night.
And last but not least, the Creative Service Agency. Alfonso is right in the front there. He's nice enough to feature us on Strictly Biz News with a Podcamp, special Podcamp episode recently where if any of you saw it, you got to see me do this. It's forever immortalized on the web if you haven't seen it already. So those are our sponsors. That's our tech shirts, our interactive, have fun. And remember that no one is safe. Take pictures, tweet, go to Facebook, take video, and tag yourself later. Thank you.
So let me try and elaborate a little bit on that media thing. Everything that is created at Podcamp is automatically under Creative Commons license. So you can't hold the copyright of video and photos and everything you take. We encourage sharing, and that's really why the power of Podcamp spreads, is because everybody, we love to find everybody's reaction to today, what you learned, what you got out of it, and so if you write a blog post about it or upload pictures or video, whatever else, please let one of us know, myself or Jax or Taryn, and we love to collect all your blog post thoughts, pictures, videos, and put it on that website so that people can see next year what kind of an experience Podcamp is. So because so many people are new, let me try and explain why Podcamp is so great. The heart of it is an unconference, and that means it's not like a regular conference. It means you guys are literally in charge. You're responsible for what you get out of today. So we've got the schedule board started, but we have a lot of slots that remain open. After we wrap up here, we'll start filling in that board. So if anybody has a session that wasn't sort of put on the schedule ahead of time, it'll be your chance to get on the board there. The other thing about sessions is that while there is a certain degree of presentation, it is always encouraged to be very collaborative and discussion-oriented in the sessions. But then again, Podcamp was founded on, you don't have to be an expert to lead a session. Podcamp was actually founded because Chris Brogan and Chris Penn were like, well, we don't know how to do podcasting. We want to find out. All the conferences are on the West Coast, so how do we find out on the East Coast? I know, let's hold an unconference and see what happens. And lo and behold, experts came and they did sessions on here's how you do podcasting. And so that's why I'm especially thrilled that Steve Bridges, who unfortunately had to miss the last Podcamp, he has a valid excuse, he had a heart attack the day before. So he's here now.
Yeah.
And so Steve is going to bring the podcasting to Podcamp. So Podcamp very quickly grew to be all manner of social media, but they kept the name just because that's a funny name to say. It's kind of fun. Podcamp. It's weird, right? So we have the podcasting session, and we have started to fill sessions in. But it is fluid. One of the things that's really tricky is to figure out what is the most popular to try to have it in this room. The other 5 main rooms are all down the hallway that way. There's one room that's halfway down the hall, and then if you continue all the way down the hall, there's a split off of the other 4 rooms. So we have 6 main rooms, but if you want to have a conversation about a topic and all the regular slots are filled, then we have some other areas that we can overflow to. We could have a session right out in this lobby here. We could have a session in the lobby upstairs. And is there space in the landing? There's some chairs in the main lobby.
Yes, the main lobby, it's more would be for a conversation.
Right, there's no
technology,
presentation
so,
gear.
Yeah. But there's room for about 20 people, and there's a couple tables up there too.
Yeah, so have a conversation of 10 or 20 people, and have a conversation wherever you want. So again, the unconference principle is that a lot of people were getting tired of regular conferences and realized the hall conferences are better. Or what you say bumping into people is better. So it's sort of like Inside Out, where those conversations you're free to have anywhere and in classrooms and whatever. So what have I missed? Oh, law of 2 feet. If you enter a session and you're unhappy and it's not the right subject for you, you are free to get up and go find another one. Don't feel like you have to sit in a room because we're trying to not encourage straight presentation styles where you sit from beginning to end to listen to one person. Round of applause for Kelly. She has done a tremendous amount of work to bring Podcamp here. And round of applause for Jax for spreading the word so well. All right, and so there's 2 sessions in the morning, then we have lunch noon to 1, and then 3 sessions in the afternoon. There is an after party, so about whenever we're going to wrap here with a quick closing remarks, 4 to 4:15, and then head on over to the tavern, which is downtown Westfield, for drinks and cocktails there. So again, tag. If you guys want to take photos and tweet the sessions, use the hashtag #PCWM.
PCWM.
And you can put photos on Flickr.
They're echoing here.
During lunch, I'm going to see if we can put this really cool thing called Twitter Fountain up, and that will actually pull all your tweets and all your photos that you've uploaded to Flickr with that tag live in real time, and so we'll get to see what we've done so far at lunch.
Nice.
If not in the meantime. All right, so have a fabulous Podcamp, and we'll put the sessions on the board. Thank you, everyone, for coming.